So here we are at Crossroads. We have Nick Furnish with us. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the history of Crossroads.
Great. Yeah, my name's Nick. I've been coming around Crossroads for over 20 years now. But Crossroads started by a group of individuals, friends. A lot of them worked together back in the late 90s, so 96, 97, somewhere around there. And they wanted to start a church for their friends that have given up on church, but have not given up on God. And so it I think just spawned from that. And they're like, what would it look like? They weren't church planters. They were just corporate folks that all met together, took out mortgages. What are we going to do? Like, they didn't know what they were doing.
Crazy.
They just knew they loved God and they wanted something different. So I know a lot of churches all are more similar now, like go in and all kind of same look and feel. But I think the things they were doing back then was kind of radical for church, if you want to put quotes around it. So
yeah,
that's how it originally started. Early on, I think they wanted to make sure that it wasn't just about growing, themselves or their name or whatever. It's just about what can we do to bless the community. So wherever we are, we want to bless the community.
Yeah.
And so early on, they said we've got to go outside. So it wasn't good enough just to come here, which is wonderful. You get fed, you encounter a God, that find out a God that loves you, and we just want to bless and love others. I think Thanksgiving Food Drive was one of their first actual outreaches. So they're like, what can we do? Everyone around Thanksgiving, sure, provide a meal, but we just wanted to just do that. That's been going on pretty much since inception. That probably started, or that was the heart of them. Like, how do we go out? We're not trying to solve everything, but it's like, we have an army. We can mobilize people and just get them out there, and that's what we try to do. And so with reach out trips, we're now in India, Guatemala, Nicaragua. Just really, and that's the connecting who are changing the world. We're always trying to get people in. It's great. We want you to come connect, find God, but we want you to connect immediately. Because you come to a building that might have 3,000 people in it, it's like, that's too big. Big things are not bad. Big things are amazing. You can connect into something way bigger than yourself. So getting people in small groups, getting them to get known, to serve. We got a coffee bar down there, kids club on the weekends. There's plenty of just ongoing serving. We want them to get engaged. And so that's our goal, to help people, because it's not about this. It's just about how do we serve.
Yeah.
So Great Plains was a great product. I've joined staff about 10 years ago. When I came in, they were already on Great Plains. They went from QuickBooks to Great Plains. And so that's a huge jump, right? QuickBooks is almost for like mom and pops or whatever. As we were using Great Plains, it was serving our needs fine for the most part. We thought there's got to be something better out there. Didn't know it would still be Microsoft, but we were going to start looking at various accounting systems. So then as we started looking, we looked what's out there. And when we found you all, it was like, we were just going to use you to help us upgrade to Great Plains, because we were on a different version that needed to be upgraded. And then in interacting with your team, they were like, well, Business Central's, that's where people are moving towards. We don't always want to be on the bleeding edge, not with some things. Most things we're fine with, but they're like, do we really want to? And I'm like, no, I think we should. Looking back now, it's the best decision we ever made, but Great Plains had a lot of limitations. Printing was kind of a challenge, reporting was a challenge. Like, there were just enough challenges that we thought it's time to look for something else. I can go on about Business Central because it truly is amazing. Whatever Microsoft did, I say they did something right, because APIs and the stuff into the way we can get to our data is just incredible. So. Reporting is important. We are externally audited, so we do that for our community. I think it's honoring to say, this is where your money's going. So all the different ministry areas, you have Reach Out, you have our kids ministry, which is back behind there. You have our connections team, you know, all the different teams, you can think of them in the corporate world as departments. They're just different segments. They all have budgets and things where they're allocated to spend money. They need to see each month, how are they doing? So we have budget versus actuals. You know, when we actually go and spend the money, they need to be able to track. So they're in monthly, but they couldn't do that with Great Plains. With Business Central, literally, we exposed the accounting level software to them, but they're not accountants. We present it through Power BI, which is also a Microsoft thing.
I was going to ask you about
So
Power
yeah,
BI.
we 100% we use Power BI like crazy, and so we have budget versus actual. We call it expense review. We have invoice review. We're tapping in so that we can. You need to see, did we pay Duke Energy to keep our lights on today? Like, you can literally track anything that you want, and we've exposed it. We couldn't do that with Great Plains. It was almost impossible. But Business Central was like, it is amazing. So reporting, we have two different levels: the dashboard, level, and then our accounting side as well. So, but we did work with TrinSoft. You guys did custom development so that we can have our accounting, what the accountants need, is written in such a way that it'll satisfy, our audits. It's almost like immediate. I knew, like, these folks are real. Like, you're accountants. Like, some of your tech people are like, they're actually accountants, or they can speak to our accounting team. That was huge for us, because to try to explain chart of accounts and what's a debit and a credit. Most people know the terms, but they don't really know why. Your team knew why. And so our accounting team really started to lay into that of, we can trust that they'll understand why we're asking for something, because some places were, we'll do it. We'll do anything for money. And that didn't seem to be the thing with you all. It just was like, what did you need? And can we meet it? And you were able to do that. So we were able to lay out our needs and say, this is actually what we need. But we don't want to have to try to maintain the code, because we're not afraid that we have developers as well, but now we're maintaining the code. We're trying to figure all that out. You guys are able to write it, or you did that for us. So it's just when Microsoft upgrades Business Central to another version, our stuff just keeps working. So that is like a huge plus in any software, world, that you can have that kind of custom development. And you've done other stuff as well, but that one was huge for us. Great Plains wasn't like horrible, because it was been around forever, but the bank reconciliation was different in Business Central versus Great Plains, and our whole processes was built on this particular thing, and yet it didn't do it. So you guys were able to make it kind of look and feel the way we used to do it. And we don't just ask for something for no reason. We changed a lot of our processes along the way, but when it really makes sense for custom development, we were happy that you were here. You can actually get to that code level and do it for us. So yeah. A lot of times churches are on smaller things, or they're either on QuickBooks or they're on Intact or these other accounting software. But a lot of them are on Great Plains. Once they moved to Business Central, TrinSoft was able to work with Microsoft, get nonprofit pricing. So, our licensing fees are very reasonable. And that's on their website. It has nothing to do with, what I mean? So you help secure that for us. If more churches if we were all on it, then they can free up, like, I can help this church over here because I can talk the same language.
All right, Nick.
Yep.
Great to meet you. Thanks so much for spending some time with us, talking through all your different stuff about Crossroads. Awesome. It's really cool to learn about you guys and what you've done, what you're doing, what you're going to do. So we appreciate you guys.
You're very welcome, and thank you guys for what you do for us each day. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, TrinSoft.